verge. Tonight on our news live at 7, Grand Bahama could finally see a major revival soon. The Prime Minister says a sale for Grand Lucayan is nearly sealed. Find out the long-awaited overhaul the nation's leader says may soon follow. But first, a double-digit drop. New police numbers show overall crime is down as the commissioner unveils last year's crime stats. But not all the news is good as violent crimes on the rise. We've got a full breakdown straight ahead. This as a 61-year-old man fatally stabbed on Sunday, marking the 9th homicide of the year. Police say they've already taken a 41-year-old suspect into custody. Then in our news at 7:30, the impending sale of Grand Lucayan Resort comes back into focus. Some residents say they remain skeptical about real progress after 3 previously failed deals. We've got their reaction and more as our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. Tonight we are learning how Grand Bahama could finally be on the verge of a major revival. This as the Prime Minister says a Grand Lucayan sale is nearly sealed and a long-awaited airport overhaul may soon follow. It's a promise of much-needed relief for the nation's second city, still reeling from Hurricane Dorian's devastation nearly 4 years ago. Our Joshua Williams has the details in about 5 minutes, but first, overall crime is down, and it's a double-digit drop. Newly appointed Commissioner of Police Shada Knowles releasing the 2024 crime statistics during her annual Meet the Press briefing this morning. But not every category of crime saw a drop. Homicides and other violent crimes are up. Our Delvado Emmanuel breaks down the numbers.
Overall crime saw a 10% drop last year when compared to 2023 crime statistics. But there was also a noticeable increase in unlawful sexual intercourse, attempted armed robberies, and murders. Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles releasing the crime statistics during a press conference at police headquarters today.
Retaliation, gang, and conflict continue to trend as the most common motives for murder.
She revealed murders climbed by 9%, with 120 incidents recorded compared to 110 in 2023. 105 of those homicides occurred in New Providence, 12 in Grand Bahama, and 3 on the Fahmy Islands. Victims between the age of 18 and 45 years old account for 78% of all homicides, while guns continue to be the weapon of choice for killers.
We were able to seize 421 illegal firearms.
There was also a decrease of attempted murder cases, which dropped by 11%, while manslaughter which dropped by 67%. On the other hand, unlawful sexual intercourse climbed by 5%, and attempted armed robbery increased by 29%. When it comes to armed robberies
decreased by 28%.
And there's more. Crime against persons fell by 13%, with 696 incidents compared to 797. Crime against properties dropped by 10%. Housebreaking decreased by 11%. Shopbreaking dropped by 16%, and stealing by vehicles 16%. Knowles credited the tireless work of police officers, saying it played a major part in clamping down on crime.
By our sheer police presence on the street, we remove the opportunity for criminals to rob individuals and invade homes and business establishments. There is still room for improvement, and we intend to double down on our productivity benchmarks to exceed expectation in 2025.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks for that, Delvado. And ahead of the commissioner's release of those statistics, the country's murder count inching closer to the double digits after a 61-year-old man was stabbed to death Sunday afternoon. Police say they already have a suspect in custody for the night murder. Homicide investigators picked up the 41-year-old man who they say they're questioning about the deadly crime. The murder happened around 4 p.m. near Meadow and Augusta Streets. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King was at the scene telling reporters the victim was stabbed in the upper body.
EMS was dispatched, and when they came on scene, they rendered medical assistance. However, the victim succumbed to his injuries on scene. We're asking anyone with any information for this incident to please contact the police as we continue our investigations.
Two men facing charges in connection to a shooting that killed a 23-year-old woman days after she gave birth to her third child. Devan Brennan and Mario Stewart charged are charged with murder and abetment to murder in relation to the January 26th killing of Valeria Sands. Sands was shot when gunmen emerged from a silver SUV and fired multiple shots in a yard on Finlayson Street. Police say Sands was sitting in a car in the yard with her newborn. Brennan and Stewart, they weren't asked to plead to the charges when they appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. They were denied bail and ordered to return to court on May 8th for voluntary bill of indictment papers. 1 month after a shocking U.S. indictment revealed a high-ranking police officer, a Defense Force officer, and several pilots were being investigated over an alleged drug smuggling ring, the country's top cop says there's no new info on the case. The indictment named 2 high-level law enforcement officers, detailing allegations of years' worth of drug and firearms trafficking. The conspiracy also mentioning the alleged involvement of a high-ranking Bahamian politician. The indictment also explained the alleged corruption dates back to before the Davis administration took office, stating it was since at least around May 2021 when the Minnis administration was still in office. At her first meet with the press, Commissioner Knowles was asked for an update.
There has been no further information at this time.
All right, a major discovery late this evening by environmental health officials. About 10 bags of charcoal found in bushes near what they say is an illegal coal burning kilt. It's a story our news first broke about 2 weeks ago. Our Joshua Williams visited that same site just off All Saints Way. The illegal burning has been a pain for residents in the area who constantly complain of the smoke, especially late in the night and early in the mornings. Officials say illegal burners take pine trees, covering them with dirt or any other material they could find, burning it slowly, all to make charcoal. Environmental Health Minister Vaughn Miller, who was there for today's find, sending a strong warning.
There's a zero tolerance approach. We will dismantle these sites, dismantle, destroy, eradicate, and then we will monitor to make certain that the persons do not return and rebuild.
All right, and stay tuned to our News Tuesday. Our Joshua Williams, who is on the story, will have a full breakdown of the impacts of these illegal burnings that they may have on residents as well as the legal implications. All right, now to Grand Bahama, which could finally be on the brink of a major comeback, as Prime Minister Philip Davis says the sale of Grand Lucayan is almost a done deal. This, as a long-awaited airport overhaul, may also soon follow. Speaking to supporters of his party over the weekend, Davis promised relief for the nation's second city nearly 4 years after Hurricane Dorian's devastation. Our Joshua Williams has this.
No more than I've said.
That was a response from Prime Minister Philip Davis this morning following a loan signing with the Inter-American Development Bank. When asked about the details surrounding a possible sale for the Grand Lucayan Hotel in Grand Bahama, his brief response, a reference to a progressive Liberal Party youth conclave on the island, where he announced that government is in the final stages of closing the deal with a buyer for the hotel within about 2 weeks. And with the island's stagnant economy compounded by the aftershocks of Hurricane Dorian, Davis says relief is on the way.
This is big, and getting it right is important. While our agreements preclude us from making any announcements during this final stage of crossing the T's and dotting the I's, what I can say is the developers are committed to embracing the culture of Grand Bahama while creating a world-class brand that enhances the tourism product.
It's perhaps a closing chapter in a story filled with turns. Back in August 2018, the Minnis administration purchased the resort from Hong Kong conglomerate Hutchinson Whampoa for $65 million, and despite plans to sell it quickly, was not able to do so. In 2020, it was announced that Holistica, a joint company of Royal Caribbean and ITM, would redevelop the property and construct a new cruise port. However, the deal was cancelled after Davis took office in 2021, saying it was not in the best interest of the Bahamian people. In May 2022, government announced a deal to sell the resort to Electra America Hospitality Limited for $100 million, but that also fell through. Fast forward to September last year, Davis said government was in intense talks with a prospective buyer for the resort and that a deal would come within a couple of weeks. The Prime Minister also promised developments for vendors at the Port Lucayan Marketplace and the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport. As for the Grand Lucayan and whether or not this sale shall materialize, we'll just have to wait and see. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. And as you heard there in that report from Joshua Williams, after years of stalled deals and dashed hopes, will residents finally see real progress? Coming up in our news at 7:30, some residents telling our news they remain doubtful. Be sure and stay tuned for that. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Monday, Greg.
Yeah, happy Monday to you too, and happy Monday, everybody. Beautiful day around the islands today, and we're looking for that to continue for the remainder of the week as high pressure ridge remains in charge. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds on the outside. Your winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 75. Temperatures right now around the islands, it's 75 in Freeport, 74 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 75 in Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, 78, 77s in Great Harbor Key, Governors Harbor, and here in the capital. Central Bahamas, temperatures also in the mid-upper 70s there with 70 in Kemps Bay, 77s, Georgetown, Deadman's Key. Coburn Downs and Salvador, 74, 75 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, and 77 Duncantown, Rygat Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrams Bay, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, 76, 78 in Matthewtown, Inagua, and our good neighbors at the southeast, Tricks and Caicos Islands. Your temperature right now is 79. Satellite and radar composite, quiet across area. Ridge of high pressure is in charge. That ridge is dominating our weather, producing dry conditions. The winds have fallen off some, and we expect some improved boating conditions as well as beaching. But that ridge is going to stay with us for the remainder of the week, so we're not looking at any significant weather getting here during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, a record-setting debut to the 2025 indoor season for Anthea Charlton. KFC.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Each week we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinut. Let's do show. It was a record-setting weekend for Anthea Charlton, and she joined in on what seems to be the family business, setting national records. On day one of the Razorback Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Charlton had the season opener of a lifetime in the long jump. Her winning leap of 6.98 meters marked a new Bahamian national record, ranks number 2 all-time in the NCAA, and number 2 all-time in Florida Gators history. Also for the Gators, it's been an outstanding start to the indoor season for Wanye McCoy. McCoy took first place in the 200 meters with an NCAA leading time of 20.45 seconds. Oscar Smith picked up his second 60-meter hurdles win in his last 3 meet appearances. Also for the Bulldogs, Philip Gray Jr. ran the opening leg of the 400-meter relay team that finished with the 8th fastest time in program history, 3 minutes 14.52 seconds. Freshman sprinter Cheyenne Demerit ran a personal best in the 60 meters in 7.65 seconds. At the Bob Pollock Invitational in South Carolina, Shatalia Dorset set 2 new marks on Georgia Southern's all-time list.
Bahamian athletes also had a productive weekend on the pro circuit. At the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Brighton, Massachusetts, in the final, Terrence Jones finished second in 6.57 seconds, just behind American Noah Lyles in 6.52 seconds. Devin Charlton also competed in Brighton in the always competitive 60-meter hurdles. Charlton finished third in 7.85 seconds behind Americans Messiah Russell and Grace Stark.
Coach Yo, Reed McCollins, and Ole Miss got their second consecutive SEC win, this time over a ranked opponent. Ole Miss defeated the 23rd ranked Vanderbilt Commodores on the road at Memorial Gymnasium in Nashville, Tennessee. In men's hoops, VJ Edgecombe left Baylor's comeback win over the Kansas Jayhawks Saturday afternoon with an ankle injury. No timetable has been set for his return. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Canada on the defense. The Prime Minister announces retaliatory measures against U.S. tariffs. This as the U.S. dollar strengthens amid Trump's trade war with China, Mexico, and Canada. Plus, Antigua and Barbuda's support for Trump's mass deportation exercise, while the Prime Minister says he'll welcome his citizens deported home. When our news returns.
Last week, the principal, Mr. Bethel, reached out to us and
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has agreed with U.S. President Donald Trump to pause tariffs planned for Tuesday for at least a month. Canada hit back against Trump's plan on Saturday, announcing 25% duties on $107 billion worth of American imports, warning Americans of real consequences. The two nations share a 5,600-mile border that sees over $2.5 billion in daily trade. Canada's list targets beer, wine, bourbon, and Florida orange juice.
This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store, gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security.
Meanwhile, President Trump hitting pause on 25% tariffs against Mexico for a month following a phone call with President Claudia Sheinbaum. Mexico agreed to deploy 10,000 National Guard troops to its northern border to curb fentanyl smuggling, while the U.S. pledges to crack down on gun exports fueling cartel violence. The president tweeted the breakthrough, calling it a good conversation with great respect. Trump praised the friendly talks, though he hasn't ruled out imposing tariffs if the deals falter. The U.S. dollar soared Monday, forcing Canada and Mexico's currencies to multi-year lows and driving China's yuan to a record offshore slump. This after President Trump's trade war with sweeping tariffs. The euro also sank to a two-year low, while the Swiss franc hit its weakest level since May. More than 100 people evacuated from a plane on Houston's runway Sunday after an engine alert forced the crew to abort takeoff. One passenger captured flames beneath the wing of the United Airlines flight, but no injuries were reported. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating. The Airbus A319, operated by United and bound for New York, had 104 passengers and 5 crew on board. The incident follows last week's mid-air collision of an American Airlines jet and a U.S. Army helicopter near Washington. Antigua and Barbuda will welcome its citizens deported under President Trump's mass deportation plan. Prime Minister Gaston Brown confirmed as much. Speaking in Panama recently, Brown told Loop News the country has a legal obligation to accept Antiguans, even those in the U.S. illegally, and will work to reintegrate them. While some activists urge Caribbean nations to reject deportation flights, Brown said he disagrees, saying officials have no moral or legal basis to refuse their own citizens. Still to come in our news, today in history. Find out interesting facts about the day that was February 3rd. And OPA Greek culture on display in this year's Greek Fest. Locals and visitors dive into 2 full days of the vibrant culture. Our Danielle Miller takes us along for the fun. Then in our news at 7:30, more officers could soon face charges over a $1 million airport heist. Police commissioner says she's ready to investigate. When our news returns.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1967, Life magazine published an expose on the hotel and casino operations in the colony. The article focused on the corrupt practices of the former United Bahamian Party UBP administration. Then, almost 10 years later, in 1974, a New York Times article detailing how businessman Howard R. Hughes was apparently backed by Bahamian leaders was published. The article reads, "The reclusive billionaire appears to have made his peace with the governing political party in the Bahamas and will be permitted to live here while fighting his legal battles with the United States and various persons suing or investigating him from there." And finally, in 2016, police announced a search was still ongoing for convicted murderer Ormond Leon, who escaped from a corrections bus just off East Bay Street the day before. Police searched for 2 weeks before the 26-year-old was recaptured at a home in Bushes on Fire Trail Road. On February 17th, Leon was sentenced to just over 41 years. All right, and speaking of historic events, the historic Collins House on Shirley Street, set to be transformed into the National Museum of the Bahamas. A symbolic event held on Friday marked the beginning of a significant journey that local historians and officials say celebrates innovation, collaboration, growth, and the preservation of our nation's history. The historical building has served many purposes over the years: a former plantation, the headquarters for the Ministry of Education and Culture, and even the campus for St. Andrew's International School.
Tonight we open the gates that constrained and symbolized the divide and summoned the masses to their house and to their grounds. We call on them to embrace and renew their march forward, upward, onward, to an enriching and productive revolution of mindful commemoration of the journey of their ancestors in the Bahamas. Tonight we open the gates within the hub of the National Museum of the Bahamas.
All right, open the gates. That was Director of the National Museum of the Bahamas, Don Cornish. OPA, it's a Greek word that means let's go. And at a recent festival, the term energized locals and guests to prepare them for 2 full days immersed in Greek culture. Danielle Miller has the highlights.
A biannual event, the Greek Festival is one that thousands of locals and guests look forward to. Held at the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church, this was my first time ever attending, and I was extremely impressed by the rich display of Greek traditions.
Because this is the property that we own, and this is where we can do it without having to worry about other legalities and complexities, but it's also a perfect opportunity for us to showcase not only our culture and our heritage, but also the Orthodox faith.
After receiving a lesson about the faith, we were compelled by the aroma of flavors that filled the air. With an abundance of food at every turn, we decided to indulge in a Greek hamburger, Greek fries, and an imported beer. We danced to the sound of this year's band, Onero. The band, visiting from Detroit, fought a snowstorm to get here.
Out of all the festivals that we performed at all over the United States and Canada, this one has the best food, the nicest people, the closest community that we've seen.
In the midst of the fun, there is also a level of dedication exhibited by the community to ensure the event is a success. Zach Lyons, one of the organizers of the festival, telling us this experience takes nearly a year of preparation. The goal, he says, is to strengthen community and harvest an appreciation for Greek culture.
With any good food spread, you have to end in dessert. I'm a little bit hot now from all the dancing, but I'm full from a good time. Until next time. This looks so good.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
Time, Danielle. Thanks for that, Danny. To watch our story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us at News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia?
Ken, that food looks good. I wish I went.
Listen, I heard you asking if it was baklava.
Yeah.
I'm going to text Danny right now to find out exactly what that was she was having.
For sure, it looks
but baklava
really good.
is really good, eh?
All right,
Yeah.
such a great event. Thanks so much for that story, Danny. Well, coming up, the central bank governor says the Bahamas performed well in 2024, and we introduce you to a young spelling bee champ. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, Prime Minister Philip Davis says government is in the final stages of closing a deal for the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort. But after years of stalled negotiations, some Grand Bahama residents are taking a wait-and-see approach. We have the latest. Also, a 46-year-old man accused of dousing his former girlfriend in gasoline and setting her on fire is now facing murder and arson charges. Plus, a concerning rise in traffic fatalities, up 16%. We have more details on the latest statistics coming up. And later, can more police officers be linked to the $1 million airport heist? Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles addresses the growing speculation when our news at 7:30 returns.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Diet friendly special.
Welcome to
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. A major announcement for Grand Bahama this weekend. Prime Minister Philip Davis says government is in the final stage of closing a deal for the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort. But after years of stalled negotiations and broken promises, some residents remain doubtful. Let's take a look. Prime Minister Philip Davis announced that government is in the final stage of closing a deal with a prospective buyer for the Grand Lucayan Resort. Speaking at a Progressive Liberal Party youth conclave at the Grand Lucayan over the weekend, Davis said his administration is taking a holistic approach to the sale, linking it with the planned redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport. Despite the announcement, Grand Bahamians remain skeptical, many citing years of unfulfilled promises.
How much time you won't sell this one hotel? Promising the people this and promising the people that, and still, at the end of the day, ain't nothing happening. People in Grand Bahama still hiding. Mr. Philip Brave Davis, y'all got to get it together, sir. Please do, y'all got to get it together. The people in Grand Bahama, we ain't pleased.
On the other hand, Grand Bahama resident Masah Dean remains hopeful.
I think that's a problem. I think the next step announcement should be, when is it going to happen?
During his speech, PM Davis also addressed concerns from local straw vendors who shared their struggles in an exclusive Our News report a little over a week ago.
Plenty times, sir. My children had to pay my rent because I wasn't making no money in the store. You had things in the store from Eric and Doreen. And no tourists there to buy them. Like she said, when Margaritaville was coming every other day, you could have looked to put food on your table.
We need help. We need help like yesterday. Not tomorrow, like yesterday. We need grants. We need people coming this way, trickling. You know what it is? We actually see the tours passing us in the morning and we say, hi, we're here, and the tours do not stop.
Now, this isn't the first time the Grand Lucayan sale has been labeled as imminent by the Prime Minister. In September 2024, Davis said the deal would close in a few weeks.
I've heard that story many times. I really don't believe nothing the government say. None of the governments for the last 25 years. I want to say something else, but that ain't good, so that's all I could say.
A 46-year-old man accused of dousing his former girlfriend with gasoline and setting her afire is behind bars on murder and arson charges. Prosecutors say Quinton Russell, otherwise known as Plucky, set 31-year-old Anishka Bonnaby at her West End Avenue apartment on January 6, She died as a result of those injuries in hospital on January 22nd. Russell didn't have to enter pleas to the charges when he stood before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. Bail was denied and he's back due in court on May 21st to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. During her first Meet the Press, Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles addressed the concerning rise in traffic fatalities. Across the Bahamas in 2024, there were 66 fatalities in 2024 when compared to 51 in 2023. To combat reckless driving, the police force carried out thousands of traffic stops and issued over 20,000 penalty notices.
66 persons lost their lives in 59 fatal crashes, which represents a 16% increase over the previous year. We conducted thousands of traffic stops and cited motorists that were in violation of traffic laws. We utilized our speed guns to monitor our highways and crack down on reckless drivers as a means to encourage road safety. We mobilized officers throughout the Bahamas and issued over 20,737 fixed penalty notices and investigated 11,157 road accidents.
More officers could face criminal charges in connection with the $1 million airport heist. Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles was asked about more officers being connected to the crime, as well as the possibility of police officers being involved in the murders of 3 suspects believed to be involved in the heist. She said while there is no evidence pointing to that, she insists the force is more than prepared to investigate their own.
If the members of the public has direct information that can assist us with those investigations, please bring it forward. We are not afraid to deal with our own. As you can see, we have put officers before the courts in connection with the heist. And if we find officers wanting in any murder case, we We certainly will look for the evidence and put them before the courts.
Well, the Shantytown Task Force will meet next week to plan the way forward for 2025. That's according to Works Minister Clay Sweeting. The task force cleared hundreds of structures across 6 shantytowns in 2024, 3 in New Providence, 2 in Abaco, and 1 in Eleuthera. As for their plans for 2025, the Works Minister is sharing this update outside of the certificate presentation for leadership and management workshop of the Ministry of Works participants.
So we've continued. Recently, we dealt with a shanty town on Calpin Road, and we're continuing. So we have already put notices on, I think, 3 different shanty towns. We're dealing with the other aspect of Cool Acre, so I know it's another area there that we need to deal with. So we're continuing that. The task force should meet next week to get an overview of our plan for 2025, the areas that we need to deal with, but we'll continue monitoring. So the Shanty Task Force is still focused and still doing what needs to be done.
All right, well, nice weather conditions to start off the work week in the capital. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. A quick check on conditions around the islands and outside our studios. 77 degrees is our current temperature with just a few clouds outside. East winds at 8 miles per hour and your field side temperature is at 75. Satellite radar composite, quiet across area. Ridge of high pressure is influencing our weather. That's going to continue to provide us with some very nice conditions. Mostly dry, mostly cloud-free, but it's going to be a little on the warm side. Temperatures will get into the low 80s. We don't see much in terms of any significant systems making it to our area, as that ridge is going to stay with us for the entire week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick around. Look at your extended forecast. It's still to come.
Still to come on our news, thousands of water and sewage customers across the country are set to benefit from a $100 million investment deal with the Inter-American Development Bank. We have the latest. Also, Central Bank Governor John Rule says preliminary data shows steady, moderate growth for the Bahamian economy in 2024. We have his full comments coming up. And later, Sean Cargill Jr. is proving he's got a way with words. The 10-year-old recently won a spelling bee and now has his sights set on an even bigger challenge. And that's all coming up when our news returns.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Diet-friendly special.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Thousands of water and sewage customers throughout the country are set to benefit from a $100 million conditional credit line for investment projects, an initial $50 million water supply support loan. The signing with the Inter-American Development Bank will assist with improving water supply throughout the country, as well as upgrading infrastructure for the Water and Sewage Corporation. Speaking before the opening ceremony of the annual consultation with Caribbean governors of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB's president, Ian Gulfin, explains the far-reaching impacts of the new partnership.
It will give 600 households in the Family Island and 700 in New Providence potable water services for the first time.
And here's how the numbers break down. 48,103 homes in New Providence and 16,897 homes on the Family Islands. And it's in these Family Islands where residents had to grapple with water supply issues evident in recent challenges we've seen, particularly in Eleuthera. WSC Board Executive Chairman Trajan Jordet.
Ensuring Water and Sewage Corporation can raise the necessary capital for infrastructure upgrades while improving operational efficiency. This investment will enable us to leverage smart technologies, including digital metering and advanced water monitoring systems, to reduce non-revenue water, particularly in our large Family Island systems where water losses remain a major concern.
Central Bank Governor John Rowles says preliminary data shows the Bahamian economy experienced steady moderate growth in 2024, driven primarily by tourism and foreign investment, and the cruise sector is expected to further grow the economy. His comments came during the bank's quarterly economic press briefing this morning. Rowles shared that while air arrivals, mainly stopover visitors, remained unchanged compared to 2023, the monetary sector saw a significant strengthening in credit growth. He also spoke about hotel occupancy rates.
Looking ahead to 2025, accommodation constraints could continue to limit earnings gains. Moreover, the average nightly room rates are also expected to experience more subdued increases following a healthy average appreciation in the immediate years after the pandemic. Meanwhile, the vacation rental market has supplemented stopover capacity and earnings growth. In particular, the rental inventory expanded by over 5% during 2024, while rental sales rose at almost the same pace.
He says tourism and foreign investment continue to drive employment opportunities in 2024. Meanwhile, with interest rates falling in the U.S. and other countries, the funding environment for foreign direct investment has also improved. He was asked about the recent tariffs implemented by U.S. President Donald Trump and their potential impact on the Bahamas.
The tariff outcomes are also expected to cause some slowing down in economic activities in these various economies. And again, tourism is driven by the relative strength of those international economies. So it should be expected that it's going to increase the challenges around marketing and attracting visitors to the Bahamas. I'm saying that, though, mindful of the fact that we're still in an environment where we're really up against a cap on capacity to some extent in the stopover segment, and so the opportunities could be there for the Bahamas to offset some of those negative influences.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, he went head-to-head with the best young spellers and came out on top,
10-year-old Sean Cargill Jr. is a spelling bee champion.
Coming up in sports, Anthea Charlton makes history, Ole Miss gets back on track, and an injury update on VJ Edgecombe. The ankle's probably fine, we promise.
And we've got a pleasant start to the work week, but will these nice conditions stick around? Greg is back with the details when our news continues. Stay with us.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. It was a record-setting weekend for Anthea Charlton, and she joined in on what seems to be the family business, setting national records. On day one of the Razorback Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Charlton had the season opener of a lifetime in the long jump. Her winning leap of 6.98 meters marked a new Bahamian national record, ranks number 2 all-time in the NCAA, and number 2 all-time in Florida Gators history. She also ran the 60 meters and finished in 7.38 seconds. Charlton headed into the fall coming off an All-American season and has already set the tone for her highly anticipated junior campaign with her record-setting debut. Also for the Gators, it's been an outstanding start to the indoor season for Wanye McCoy. McCoy took first place in the 200 meters with an NCAA leading time of 20.45 seconds. The reigning SEC indoor champion in the event, he also has the number 4 time in the 60 meters and is a member of the top-ranked 4x400 meter relay team. The Bahamian contingent for Louisiana Tech took to the track at the Stan Scott Invite and Multi in Lubbock, Texas. Oscar Smith picked up his second 60-meter hurdles win in his last 3 meet appearances. Smith took first place in 7.82 seconds. Also for the Bulldogs, Philip Gray Jr. ran the opening leg of the 400-meter relay team that finished with the 8th fastest time in program history, 3 minutes 14.52 seconds. He also set a new personal best in the individual 400 at 48.57 seconds. Freshman sprinter Cheyenne Demerit ran a personal best in the 60 meters in 7.65 seconds. At the Bob Pollock Invitational in South Carolina, Shatalia Dorsett set 2 new marks on Georgia Southern's all-time list. In the 60 meters, she finished 3rd in 7.50 seconds, 2nd on the Eagles' all-time list. She also ran a personal best of 24.07 seconds in the 200 meters.
Bahamian athletes also had a productive weekend on the pro circuit. At the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Brighton, Massachusetts, Terrence Jones was among a star-studded field in the 60 meters that included two 100-meter Olympic champions. In the final, Jones finished second in 6.57 seconds, just behind American Noah Lyles in 6.52 seconds. As for the older sister of the dynamic duo, Devon Charlton also competed in Brighton in the always competitive 60-meter hurdles. Charlton finished third in 7.85 seconds behind Americans Messiah Russell and Grace Stark.
Coach Yo, Rima Collins, and Ole Miss got their second consecutive SEC win, this time over a ranked opponent. Ole Miss defeated the 23rd-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores on the road at Memorial Gymnasium in Nashville, Tennessee. They improved to 15-6 by limiting Vanderbilt to its second fewest scoring performance of the year. For Coach Yo, it was her 11th win over a ranked opponent in her tenure at Ole Miss.
It took everything for us to come out with this victory, but I did not want to miss out on the opportunity to talk about the respect I have for what Shay and her staff has built.
In men's hoops, VJ Edgecombe left Baylor's comeback win over the Kansas Jayhawks Saturday afternoon with an ankle injury. No timetable has been set for his return, but Bears head coach Scott Drew remains optimistic about the status of his superstar freshman.
He was celebrating pretty good, but one thing about VJ is VJ will be back when he can be back because he cares about his team and he wants to win.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. We did it. We made it through the entire newscast without mentioning Luca.
Now imagine if Aiden went to the Lakers.
Now that's a lead story. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, he went head-to-head with the best young spellers and came out on top. 10-year-old Sean Cargill Jr. is a spelling bee champion. Our Jasmine Brown has the story straight ahead. And Greg is back with our extended weather forecast when our news continues. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahama's Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahama's Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahama's Business Solutions.
This is our news. Welcome back. Ridge of high pressure is in charge of our weather. That's going to continue to dominate our weather throughout the remainder of the week. Warm temperatures expect to get into the low 80s, light winds, and we do expect some winds to be picking up during the middle part of the week. But we will remain rather toasty for the next several days as that high pressure system at the surface and aloft continues to dominate our weather. Future forecast showing nothing much happening out there, just a few isolated showers, mainly up near the northwest Bahamas, but mainly across Florida. Maybe a spotty shower down near the southeast Bahamas, but once again, dry conditions expected throughout that period. Boating forecast, nice across the northwest and central Bahamas and night through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the east at around 10 to 15 knots. They will fall light and variable at times, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Your tides will be high at 11:55 tonight. Your low tide takes place at 6:16 tomorrow. For the southeast Bahamas, a caution flag in place for you guys down there. Northeast to east winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look at the extended forecast. Just a stretch of beautiful weather expected. Once again, the temperatures will be in the low 80s. Nighttime temperatures will be approaching the 70s. And we don't expect much in terms of any significant rainfall during that period. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, 10-year-old word whiz Sean Cargill Jr. was recently crowned the winner of the 2025 Archdiocesan Spelling Bee, going several rounds with some of the best spellers in Catholic education. Our Jasmine Brown tells us in this report he's already preparing to represent the Catholic Board of Education at the National Spelling Bee. Let's take a look.
That's the moment 6th grade St. Cecilia student Sean Cargill Jr. spelled his way to victory, placing first in the 58th Catholic Diocesan Spelling Bee. Cargill made it through round after round of tough competition that lasted 20 rounds. The word that propelled him to victory was clandestine.
It felt amazing to win this year's Archdiocesan Spelling Bee because after placing second last year, I did not give up.
The annual Catholic school-wide spelling bee was held on January 29th at Xavier's Lower School. Sean is no stranger to winning, as he's won his school spelling bee for the past 3 years. He says preparation and perseverance were key to his success, but he couldn't have done it without the help of his family and coaches. His mom says they studied year-round.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. And what we do is we study almost anywhere. I kid you not. We went to Orlando in the Christmas, and before we went to the theme parks, we had to study every morning.
Sean has not only excelled in academics, he's also an active member of his community. Last October, I spoke to him about his fundraising initiative to sell hundreds of wristbands to help fight breast cancer. Looking ahead, he says he not only plans to prepare diligently for the national competition, but also hopes to one day compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in the United States. For now, he's still celebrating his win, getting a hero's welcome when he returned to class at the St. Cecilia School. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks so much for that, Jasmine. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more